Okay, a couple things I wanted just to go over with you following exam one and just as we move forward. One thing, I think we did fairly well as a class on the test. I think many of y'all did very well. Some of y'all, maybe did not do as well as you had hoped, and that happens, especially with some of the topics we do cover in this class. As I stated early on, this is a class that is designed for students whose majors are in a technical program. So some of them are used to the terminology. And that's one of the issues I think many of us had was those unit conversions. That's something that's not going to go away, unfortunately for you. We will continue to work with those measurements. Not all the time, but you will see them, especially when you get to the RC circuits and the RL circuits. Those are circuits. You don't need to know anything about them as far as, what to do with them, but you do need to know how to find the measurements. And you will find those measurements, using your trigonometry. The problem is if you aren't comfortable using the prefixes as far as, taking something in kilowatts and calculating with it, it's going to cause you trouble. So you really have to understand how to enter something like that into your calculator, and what K means and what a little m means, milli, and just how to more so enter that into your calculator. You won't be converting from one measurement to another, but you will have to be using those in some calculations. So figure that out either by trying some and seeing if you get the answers correct, and then try to figure out what you're doing, or just send me an email with the kind of calculator you have. But just remember, K means 1,000. That's where you get the times 10 to the third. So if I have 5K, I have 5,000 actual units. And that's how you have to convert those for your calculations. Another example would be if I had 5 milliwatts. Well, milli is times 10 to the negative third, so that means you move the decimal 3 to the left when you're calculating. But there's other ways you can enter that in on your calculator, so you don't have to worry about moving the decimal point manually, but you can always do that. So that's one thing. So I did send out a video several weeks ago on unit conversions, and I also posted it in the class itself in that section. So maybe, look at it again if you're still having trouble with those. Other issue is rounding. Many of y'all are rounding incorrectly. Now, I will give you credit for that on a test because I can see that. But, maybe get a refresher on how to round to the tenths place or the, hundredths place or whatever. You don't just cut the number off at that place value. You either increase it or you leave it alone, depending on what the number is. So maybe look up some rounding. But, that's kind of from the test. Overall, I thought everything else was pretty good. The main problems were with the unit conversions, some rounding mistakes, a few issues with the systems of equations. But, that stuff's kind of gone till the final, except for the units. Now coming up is the trigonometry. And the trigonometry, some people can find it very easy. Some people can find it very difficult. But what you got to keep in mind is you've got to keep in mind you're doing right triangles. When you get into the RC and RL circuits, there are lots of videos there. Now, there are videos that I've created, and there are videos that other people have created. So you may be more comfortable with theirs, or you may be more comfortable with mine. But with mine, I've shown you how to take those terrible looking drawings they give you and make a right triangle out of it. And that's what you really have to get good at before you get into the RC and the RL circuits, is solving triangles. Okay, so I'm going to pause this video, turn my camera around, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about.